Mukti. What will happen? You will get a better birth next time. You will have better instruments to understand the scriptures next time. What we say ahara is not the only one which we have just consumed, food. Ahariyanti iti ahara, it is said. Whatever you are grasping in 24 hours through all your senses, that is called ahara. The ear is also eating. What is it eating? Its own object, subject you can say. It is listening the sound or words. The eye is also eating. What is it eating? It is seeing. So ahariyanti iti ahara. So as long as ahara shuddha is not there, so long all these things will not happen. So first to have viveka, you should have a purified life, as the scriptures have said. So next, continuing further, they say that when you go in the sannidhi of the Sant Mahatma, that is the nearness of the sadhus, then you will have the viveka. So Narada is considered as the Devarshi. Then there is a very beautiful story. We'll just touch it and we'll move forward. So during the time of creation, this Daksha, he has produced 10,000 sons to continue the creation. Narada goes there and says, "Oh, what are you getting into? Do you know how a householder's life is so difficult? You have to think about all the rations, you have to think about your children's fees and all these things. It is so difficult, householder's life. Why are you trying to enter in that?" "Oh, then what should we do? You go in the forest and chant Lord Narayana's name, and then you will be released from this bondage of cycle of birth and death," he said. What happens? Those 10,000 sons, this story comes into Bhagavatam. They are called Haryashvas. The name of the set of these 10,000 sons are called Haryashvas. What they do? They go to the forest and they start meditating, and that's how they release from this cycle of birth and death. Then again Daksha produces second set of 10,000 sons. Again Narada says, "Do you know where your brothers have gone?" They say, "No, we don't know." So they are also sent again in the same way. Then Daksha gets angry and he curses Narada that you will not be able to see in one place. So all that story. But basically, as soon as Binu Satsangati Vivek na hoye. So once you go to the nearness of the Mahatmas and Sadhus, when they talk about it, when they preach about it, then only Viveka happens. So after having Viveka, then the delusion, the first step, the delusion and all this is being destroyed in a systematic manner. It is further said, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Among thousands and thousands, you see, first of all, sahasra, the word is thousand, which is denoting thousand. But the particular word, those who are the knower of Sanskrit, they know that sahasreshu is a plural form. So among thousands and thousands and thousands, a few, one kaschid yatati siddhaye. So how is he having an effort for siddhi? Siddhi is what? Not gaining some powers over here. That is not the siddhi. Siddhi is, the highest siddhi is to get liberated from this very cycle of birth and death. So why is that particular one is having an effort and not the others? Because he has a viveka. So this is the significance of viveka. Then comes the chudamani, the word. You see, mani is a jewel. And chuda, you can say either a crown or a crest. So literally, all the Upanishad teachings, that is the fun of studying a Prakaran Grantha, once after you have studied the Prasthanatraya. You see, Prakaran Grantha is the foundation for studying Prasthanatraya. But once you have studied the Prasthanatraya and come back to the Prakaran Grantha, you will find whatever is said in the Prasthanatraya, that is Upanishad, etc., everything is being said by Bhagavan Bhashyakara, Adi Shankaracharya ji. We lovingly call him Bhagavan Bhashyakara, Adi Shankaracharya ji, in this Prakarana Granthas itself. So this Chuda Mani is the jewel. Chuda is, you can say, either a crown or a crest. So there are some examples. Just now, as we have seen, the story of Yagyavalkya and Maitreyi, this particular story Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya, he himself has taken in the 7th shloka of this Viveka Chudamani, and he says, Amritatvasya nashasti vittena itihi shrutihi. Shruti itself, by herself, is saying, Shruti is called Bhagavati, Divine Mother. Shruti Bhagavati herself is saying, Amritatvasya na ashasti vittena. There is not even a probability of single chance, single percentage of getting an immortality by having the material wealth. Second, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma Tajjalaniti Shantupasita. This particular mantra comes in the Upanishad that whatever you are seeing, that is not different from Brahman. Brahman is all-pervading consciousness. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Tajjalaniti Shantupasita. Tajjalan means what? From it, the existence has come. The manifestation. Tajja, Talla and Tad-ana. When you say Tajjalan, so it is Tajja. From it, all these manifestations have been created. And Talla. La means everything will be dissolved during the cycle of dissolution. It will be dissolved in the same Ishvara, you can say, because Ishvara is the creator. And Tad-ana. Ana means during the time of sustenance also, there is nothing apart from him. Just now, as we were discussing in the Adhyasa Bhashya, during the time when you are seeing a snake on the rope, where it is on the rope itself. If you remove the rope, will you be able to see the snake? No. But has there any change in the rope? During the period when you were seeing the snake, was there any change in the rope? So that is how the creation is. There is no change in that ultimate Brahman, superior, all-pervading consciousness, but it is only superimposition, that is. So, this is being explained, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma Tajjalaniti Shantupasita. This Upanishad mantra you will be seeing, Brahmai Veda Vishwam Ityeva Vani Shrauti Bruthe. This particular shloka comes at 233 in this Viveka Chudamani. Then proceeding further, Athato Adesha Neti Neti. This is a very famous instruction of the Upanishad. Whatever you are seeing, not this, not this. All the gross, all the subtle, and whatever you are seeing, by what you are refuting, even that is not Brahman. That refutation happens through the mind. That mind is not Brahman. So, there is something apart from this. So, that comes Athata Adesha iti Shrutihi Swayam Nishedati Brahmani Kalpitam Dvayam. This is 247. Then comes Tattvamasi. It is a Mahavakya. So this particular 255 to 261, you will be saying Yad Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavaya Atmani. So these are all the shlokas ending with Yad Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavaya Atmani, starting from 255 to 261. And the last one is Yadahi eva tasmin udaramantaram kurute athatasya bhayam bhavati. So the Upanishad says, no matter if you don't see non-duality, Advaita, then what will happen? It is showing a result. What will happen? Even if you see an ounce, a single gram of difference, that is Dvaita, duality, then what will happen? You will have a fear. What is fear? The fear of birth, the fear of death. That is Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jathare Shayanam. Again, the cycle of birth and death continues and continues. So when you see Taittiriya Bhashya, Sureshwaracharya ji has written a Vartika. He says, this also has come in Garbhopanishad. It is one of the most important Upanishads for studying and having dispassion, Vairagyam. It narrates how a jiva, individual soul, enters into the womb of a mother and what promises he does to the Paramatma or the divine God, and once he comes out, he or she, whatever, once it comes out, how it forgets nicely whatever promises it has done in the womb of the mother. So there also in Garbhopanishad. But here, Sureshwaracharya ji, in the Vartika of Taittiriya Bhashya, he writes, Mriti Vijam Bhaved Janma. Janma Bijam Bhavet Tatha Sati. As soon as there is a birth, there is a seed of the death. You show me one single person who has kept until today this mortal coil. He is with the same body. You can have Jitendriyas who are living very long. You can say this Hanumanji is a Jitendriya, and then many other Jitendriyas you can have. Jitendriyas means who have prolonged life. But you will not be able to show one even single individual who is immortal with this mortal coil. That's why the name itself is mortal coil. This gross body, sthula sharira. So all these things, Bhagwan Bhashyakara, Adi Shankaracharya, he has taken from the Upanishads and integrated into this Viveka Chudamani. So this is called as Mani. Mani is the jewel and Chuda is the crest, or you can say crown. In this way, the name itself explains Viveka Chudamani. We have seen the meaning of Viveka as well as Chudamani also. Now proceeding to the first shloka of this. You see, there is a tradition custom in the scriptures. Any time when you're starting a scripture or a text, what you do the Mangala Charanam. Mangala Charanam is called auspicious prayers or invocation. So there is a saying, Mangaladini, Mangalamadhyani, Mangalantani, Shastrani Patante. In the beginning, in between, and at the end, you do the Mangala Charana. Why is it? Because to refute, to negate all the obstacles which are coming in your way. It is said, Shreyansi Bahuvignani. When you are starting to do some auspicious or divine work, there may be several obstacles. So to remove and refute all those things, you offer Mangala Charanam. So the first shloka of this Viveka Chudamani is the Mangala Charanam. It is said, Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tam Agocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Now you see, was it not enough if you would have said Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam? First of all, let's understand what is Vedanta. You see, we have 4 Vedas. So, the distribution of the mantras which are in the Vedas, it is accordingly that 80,000 mantras are related to the performance of the action. If someone wants a son, Putresti Kamo Yajeta, Swarga Kamo Yajeta, Vrishti Kamo Yajeta. Whatever your desire is, accordingly there are mantras available to get that appropriate fruit for it. Like King Dashratha has performed Putresti Yajyaha. Then someone other, you can say, he has performed Swarga Kama Yajyaha. He wanted to go to heaven, so he has performed the Yajya accordingly. So all these mantras are 80,000 in number, 80. Then comes 16,000 mantras which are related to the upasanas. It may be Karmanga Upasana or different kind of upasanas. Those are 16,000 mantras. Vaidika Upasanas. And then the 4,000 remaining, it is believed to be having 100,000 mantras, that is 1 lakh mantras in the Upanishad. Unfortunately, not all of them are available according to the time now. But it is said that there were 100,000 mantras including all these 4 Vedas. 100,000 is 1 lakh. So the remaining 4,000 mantras are pertaining to the Jnana Kanda, the oneness of this individual and all-pervading consciousness. Each and everybody, if I ask now, how far does your eye go? When you, since the moment you wake up in the morning until you go to on the bed, just count once how many times the word I you use. And how far does your eye go? You will say, as long as the body is there, this is the paridhi, sima, it is called the limit of I. So this is called individual soul, jiva. And the Paramatma, the Supreme, the all-pervading consciousness. So the oneness of this both is in the last 4,000 mantras. That is called Vedanta. Vedanam Antimaha Mugurdha, the Shirsha, the head portion, the highest supreme portion of this Vedas is called Vedanta. So, Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam. So, after all the conclusions of all the deciding debate and all these things, whatever is finally concluded, that is called Siddhanta. It can only be seen through the Vedanta Siddhanta. Now we have forgotten the first word, Sarva. Why was there a need to use the word Sarva? In fact, if it would have been said Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam, tam agocharam. Why was there a need to say sarva? You see, it is not only limited to these 4 Vedas, but when you go to the Upanishad, the example has come just like, I am not quoting the mantra because the time does not permit us. So just like the wet firewood, from the wet firewood, just like the smoke comes, the flames comes, and the splashes comes. In the same way, from this great being, all this Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Ityasa, Purana, and Vyakhyanani, Anuvyakyanani, whatever you are seeing, they all come from this great being. So there, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya has explained, Purana, you should not understand that this is different some Purana. It is a portion of Veda. Whatever stories have come in the Vedas, not the Vedanta, but Urvashi Pururavaso. There is a story about Urvashi, the damsel, and Pururava, the king. So in that way, that story you have to understand that it is pertaining to the Purana portion of the Vedas. So when you talk about the Purana, there you should understand that it is a portion of Veda. This Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji writes in the commentary of this particular mantra which we are discussing. Either that, or you can take the well-known meaning that these Puranas which are written, compiled by Bhagavan Vedavyasa, and then you can say Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam. So Bhagavan Bhashyakara is the abode. In fact, they are compiled by Bhagavan Vedavyasa. Then how is it called Bhagavan Bhashyakara, Adi Shankaracharya is the abode? Because they are present to him just like a fruit on this palm of the hand, Hastamalakam Iva. Just like the fruit on the palm of his hand. All these Shrutis, all these Smritis, and all these Puranas, they are present to Adi Shankaracharya ji. And then you can say that Itihasa Puranabhyam Vedam Samhupa Brahmed. That this is a Mahabharata shloka. That through the medium of Ityasa is Mahabharata, and Puranas, all these 18 Puranas, 18 Upapuranas and all these things, you should be able to understand the meaning of the Vedas. You see what has been said, Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara. So this is the teaching of Veda and Vedantas. So in Puranas you will be seeing an elaborated long story. Satyam Vada means you will see the story of Yudhishthira, story of Satyavadi Raja Harishchandra, how he has taken the pains to keep his word in the same. Dharmam Chara means you will see so many examples of that. There is a story named Raja Shibi. He has in fact cut the flesh from his thigh to upkeep his dharma. In this way you will see many stories, but the stories are not for the sake of stories. You need to understand the teaching behind it. So Ityasa Puranabhyam Vedam Samopa Brahmahed. Through the process of Ityasa, that is Mahabharata, Ramayana, etc., and Purana, you should be able to understand Veda. So in this way, either the first meaning, what Bhagavan Bhashyakara Adi Shankaracharya ji has said, that Purana is not different from the Vedas, the stories which have come in the Vedic portion of the Vedas, that is to be considered as Purana, either that meaning, or you can say this well-known meaning of Purana, Smritis, Shrutis and all these things, that you can say, this is how you will be able to explain Sarva Vedantaha. Otherwise there was no need to say the word Sarva, only Vedanta if you would have said, that would have been enough. So all that particular Puranas, Smritis and Shrutis, everything after discussing, what happens? The mantra comes, Prajapati Lokan Abhyatapat. When someone, if you are sitting idly, sometimes in your mind it will come, what is the most auspicious thing or what is the most significant thing in this whole birth, in this creation. So Prajapati, the creator, also in the beginning of the creation, he had this thought. So what he has done, he has meditated on these words, Traividya Samprasravat. So this Rig Yaju Sama, these three have come out of that meditation. When he has meditated on the words, what did he find? These three were the most significant. He has meditated on these three. Then what has come out of it? This Trini Vyahariti, Bhurva Swaiti. These three have come out of it. And once he meditates on these three, what comes out of it? Om, this particular word comes out of it. Now there are whole Upanishads filled with the significance. You can say Mandukya Upanishad is whole Omkara, Avideya Avidhana Pradhana. The Om is not different from the Supreme Brahman. Supreme Brahman is not different from the Omkara. Even Prashnopanishad has it, Chandogya has it, Brihadaranya has it. We are not going to go in much detail. But that is the most Siddhanta Saraha. So in this way, Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam, Tam Agocharam. Otherwise he is not be able to experience what will. It is said, na tatra chakshu gachati, na vag gachati, na mano, na vidmo, na vijanimaha. In that absolute, all-pervading consciousness, neither the mind goes, nor the speech goes, nor the eye goes, nor the ear goes. But yad vachana bhyudate. Through speech, it cannot be spoken of. But the speech speaks because of that. The power it is getting, it is only because of the Brahman. Otherwise, it is not possible. In this way, you have to. Then comes Govindam. It is said, Gam Vindati iti Govindaha. This literal, you see, when you see this Mangalacharana, there are three types of Mangalacharana. One is Ashirvadatmakaha. So what it is said, giving blessings to someone in the marriages or in the auspicious occasion like birthdays, etc. That is called Ashirvadatmaka. You are literally giving blessings like Swasti Vachana. That is one Mangalacharana. Second one is Vastu Nirdeshatmakaha. You are pointing out the subject. In Vedanta, there is no other Vastu than Brahman. So that is Vastu Nirdeshatmakaha. And the third one is Namaskaratmakaha. You are offering your pranams. So this particular shloka is a Mangalacharan in both the ways. It is showing the Vastu Nirdeshatmaka, that it is showing the nature of the Brahman and what is the subject topic of the discussion in the Vedanta or in this particular Viveka Chudamani. This is Vastu Nirdesha. As well as what will happen, he is offering his pranams to the author, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, to his guru named Govinda. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya's sannyasa name was Bhagavad Pada, his guru's sannyasa name was Govinda Pada, and his great grand guru's sannyasa name is Gaudapada. So Govindam. So the meaning you can say he is offering pranams to his guru, but when you come back to Vastu Nirdeshatmakaha, it is called Gaha. Gaha means the speech. Upanishad Vachaha Vindati. It is only be able to experience this agocharam, that which cannot be experienced by